that time.
Welcome back. Boys are back after about, 4 months?
Yeah, we took a little hiatus.
Been too long.
Some change.
Been too long, but we're back now. We're celebrating our 1-year anniversary of being a podcast. Clap it up, boys. Let's go. We made it this far.
Don't we have a little clap button that we normally use?
We do, but I
I don't know which one it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, we got to get back going.
All right, but we are going to talk some NBA playoffs and this Jalen Hurts contract that he just got. Bro got paid. He got the bag. And we're also, to close out the episode, we're going to be talking about our favorite moments from each of us over the last year on the podcast. So I guess we can just go ahead and jump into these NBA playoff matchups. What we got
before we forget,
Okay.
Eli.
Oh, yeah. Bro, I got to get
Yeah.
back in my bag.
You gotta
bro.
get
It's been
back in
too
the
long.
groove.
Yeah.
It's been way too
Yeah.
long.
I'm Noah. This is Destin.
The boy back in the building.
My boy Eli.
What's good, everybody?
And we got Hoodie Jalen over here.
What's up?
Hoodie JP.
All right,
Hoodie JP.
We got to get back in the bag. All right, so what's the first matchup on the docket here for the playoffs?
I mean, I think the center of conversation is right now what went down last night between the Warriors and the Kings. I know we got a faithful Warriors fan over here, coming off a championship, but it's been a little bit of a different season. What's y'all's takeaways from the series so far? What are the biggest takeaways coming from games 1 and 2?
Light the beam.
Light the beam.
Light the beam.
De'Aaron Fox is a problem.
Yes, he's him, bro.
He's him.
And Sabonis, bro, he took a little donkey kick from Draymond last night, but we ain't gonna talk about that. That's neither here nor there. About whose fault that was. It's kind of been some banter on TV, but whatever. It looked like to me that Draymond just straight up stomped that man. But
Yeah, he stomped him good in the chest.
Sabonis,
I will
Sabonis
say,
been
though,
balling too.
I will say though, Sabonis did. It was kind of dirty for him
Yeah.
to pull Draymond's leg, though. I mean,
I did see what they were talking about, but I think it was a little bit of both. Like it wasn't just Draymond, it wasn't just
Yeah, they both had
Montes
little impact.
and there were a couple plays off ball too, previous to that
Yeah.
incident that went down, where Sabonis was doing some sketchy stuff off ball as well against Draymond. So it was kind of building up the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with them ejecting Draymond and then only giving Sabonis a tech. That's just my personal opinion.
Sabonis
feel
is
you.
one of those players who you don't think would be in that type of bag where he gets a little dirty, but he's a little slick cat.
Yeah, but Sabonis' dad actually played in the league, so he knows the ins and outs and the little tricks that go with playing in the NBA.
I don't have a right hand, and I don't get why Draymond does it a good job. Like he forces him left. I mean, he tries to force him right, but Sabonis just forces his way on his left side, and that's how Draymond was able to draw a couple charges.
Mm-hmm.
But to get into this series, we haven't recorded since NBA season started. I don't think for real. So
Shoot.
it's been up and down for the Warriors all year. Been basically a 500 team. Guys in and out the lineup. Wiggins was out. Curry was out.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, just because it's the Warriors, everybody feels like we can just turn it on. But that is not the case in the NBA playoffs. They're gonna say that this isn't a genuine pick, but I into this series, I had the Kings beating us in 7 games. They're gonna think that I'm just picking against my
Hey,
team.
but he always picks
That's
against
what he
his team,
does.
so,
I
like,
mean, he has history of this. I mean,
try
we
to-
have it
try
documented.
Reverse psychology stuff.
No,
It works half the time though, so
But
you
we can't defend.
Be mad.
the only thing we might be able to do is win at home and protect home court, but we haven't been able to win on the road at all. I think we only won 11 games, winning 11-30 on the road. So
Yeah.
and that showed its face in the first 2 games. We don't have anybody who can really stay in front of Fox. Nobody in the league does for real, but GP2 tries to do his best. Poole looks terrible, getting $100 million, but he's turning the ball over, can't do anything on offense, and he's terrible on defense. And Clay's just taking a lot of bad shots, and Steph, they're boxing in one, trapping, but he's got to find a way to get better looks. But what's y'all's take on the series so far?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I really noticed is just like how bad Poole's been playing this year. I've heard some rumors circulating that Steve Kerr, Draymond, all these veteran guys that have been a part of the culture for a long time with Golden State, who built the brand that they have today. In practices and stuff, they've been trying to nag at Jordan Poole like all season long. He's been really inconsistent. And one thing, especially this series, I've noticed is his shot taking is like his shot selection has not been as good as it was in last year's playoffs. And not only that, but his defense is atrocious. Like it's so bad that it's a liability to the team. And I feel like, in a sense, it's really hurting the Warriors and their chemistry. With all the injuries that have been taking place this year.
Yeah. I feel you, but Kings have really shocked a lot of people. I mean, they haven't even won a playoff game in 17 seasons, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, this is the first time they're back in the playoffs since I think 2002 or 2004. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
So
and like me personally, I've never met a Kings fan. I didn't know they existed, but apparently they do because they be packing out that arena every night
Yeah, they
so
pack
far
out.
this season. So, but I mean, the Kings have shocked a lot of people. I mean, we knew De'Aaron Fox was pretty good, but like this season he's really made a jump. Like he's got a legit case for like most improved in my book. Like just out of nowhere, really just be kind of set himself apart in that whole like maybe he's top 5, top 10 guard in the league now, especially how he's played this season. And then you obviously have Sabonis and what's the other guy's name?
Monk,
No, not Monk.
Monk.
Kevin Herter.
Kevin Herter.
No, I mean they got some shooters, but I'm talking about the what's the young guy they got? I forget.
Mitchell?
No, the rookie.
Yeah,
Murray. Keegan Murray.
yeah, Keegan Murray.
you go.
Yeah, he's kind of
Yeah.
he's kind of come on the scene. He's had his moments, but Kings just really look like they might control this series. I mean, we'll see how it goes down in San Francisco for games 3 and 4. But I'll probably going to take the Kings. If you'd have asked me before this series started off 2-0 Kings, I probably would have said Warriors in 6. But the way it's going right now, I'm probably going to take Kings in 6.
Wow. Well, first, I think the Kings having Mike Brown, a guy who's coached with Golden State, he knows all
True,
the ins and
true.
outs. That helps. I did not know Barbosa was on the team staff for the
Coaching
Kings
staff,
too.
yeah.
Really?
Then Harrison Barnes had 2 dunks on Clay.
I would,
Like,
bro.
He had like everybody roasted Barnes for because he was terrible against LeBron back in the day.
2016.
And it's like he's trying to like get some revenge. I mean, he had 2 personal dunks on Clay.
Bro, he had
That
some
was
get
tough.
back with those 2 dunks. I was watching that.
Yeah,
Those were-
Harrison Barnes is ready to play.
he was throwing down. I mean, he looked like he had some revenge on his mind when that was going down.
Yeah, so I still got Golden State in 7. I have a feeling that they're gonna at least get one game. It's not like to me, game 1 they should have won. But some things just didn't go their way. So I feel like there's still one game that they can get, and it'll be that game 7. But I like how the Kings been playing so far in the series.
Game 1 shifted when Kerr didn't keep Steph in for the whole entire third quarter. For some reason, he's changed. It used to be 12 minutes, and then 6 minutes, and then 12 and 6. That was his rotation, but he's trying to switch it up. He wants to save him because he's older. But a lot of the Warriors fan base gets mad at Steve Kerr for his rotations and his lack of adjustments. I think we definitely need to run more Curry on ball and more pick and roll. For some reason, he plays too much off ball.
Yeah.
Kerr likes that as well. So I think if Kerr can be willing to adjust his philosophy some because he's so stubborn, we might be able to make it more interesting. But we're on the verge of getting swept or getting beat in 5. if we
Would
don't-
y'all would y'all play pool less, or would y'all?
I think right now we
keep it
have
the same.
to.
I would.
He might play better at home, but if he's not bringing anything offensively, we have to. And we need Gary Payton in as much.
I was
as we
finna
can.
say I would give Payne all them minutes because at least he's not gonna do nothing on the offensive end for y'all, but he's gonna give you the defense.
Well, he does good at the dunker spot, and the lineups with Curry, Draymond, Payton, we're outscoring when they're in the game, we're winning the game a lot when they're on the court. So keep them out there as much as possible. Draymond got to stop doing stupid stuff to try to get himself suspended. For some reason, he feels like he has to do something to get himself off the court. He did it last year against Memphis. We all know many people think we lost the championship 2016 because he got suspended. So
Yeah.
Draymond got to find a way to stay on the court. Last night got kicked out. 7 minutes left in the game. Who knows, right? But
Yeah, I think the one thing that's really voted in the Kings' favor in this series so far is the shot selection. I mean, you look at the athleticism that the Kings have on that team, and that athleticism is allowing them to drive, be able to create shots for themselves. Kevin Herter, Malik Monk. I was actually really mad the Lakers let go of Malik after last offseason. He did great for us in that short period of time he played with us, but he's balling out for the Kings. And they've got a lot of athletic dudes, De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis, and they got. And I think that's been the biggest difference is, game 1 was a shootout, but then game 2 was like a defensive rock battle pretty much. So, and I think one question I kind of had was, if you're the Warriors right now, do you hit that panic button yet, or are you still confident that they've got a chance to get back into this thing?
I don't think they can. We can't panic. That won't help us at all. We just got to, lean on our experience. They've been in similar situations. This is the first time Steph has ever been down 2-0 in a series ever.
That's crazy.
But they know what it's like. They came back from 3-1. They blew a 3-1. So they've been on the both ends of all types of series through the history. So they got to lean on their experience and hope they can pull something out.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be panicked at all. I mean, Golden State's been like this all year. I mean, I think, like I said, game 1 was winnable. Game 2 was winnable. So to me, if they just make a few slight adjustments, play pool less, in my opinion, And I still think that they can get one game in Sacramento.
22 turnovers, can't do that.
Yeah, way too many turnovers.
Outside of Wiggins and Payton, no one else can stay in front of anybody. So we got to
Yeah.
find a way to defend.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was a physical game one to say the least, though, or physical game two to say the least. Next series we got Lakers versus Grizzlies. Obviously, this past Sunday, my Lakers been waiting a long time to see us get back into the playoffs, and now here we are. Everybody, fingers crossed, stays healthy. But what was y'all's takeaway from game one off the bat?
Freaking dude, what's the dude's name?
Austin Reeves.
Reeves, bro.
Jeez.
Dude,
Reeves.
honestly, at this point, Reeves is better than Jordan Poole, and Jordan Poole got the $100 million extension. But like, Reeves is, I mean, he's had his moments throughout the regular season. We're like, okay, that dude's he's kind of nice, especially being white, whatever. But like, dude, in these playoffs, dude, he's just establishing himself as like a legit like role player. And, like he's going to get paid by somebody. Hopefully, it's the Lakers because I like seeing him on that team. But I mean, obviously, the Lakers at full health, and now they have D'Angelo Russell and people like that to actually be able to score from the guard position. It helps them out a lot, and so I mean, I think like you said, Lakers stay at full health. I mean, they could make a run. We'll see. They we're just kind of I don't want to get. I know you're a Lakers fan, so it's easy to kind of get ahead of the game, but I don't want to get ahead too quickly because AD is liable at any point, any given moment.
Oh yeah, I mean, even in that game one, and at the end of the first half, he went out with it looked like he had a stinger with his shoulder, and I was at that moment when I saw that happen, I'm like, oh God, here we go again, and LA's going to crumble to pieces if AD doesn't come back in this game or next game, but he was able to come back, thankfully. But like you were talking about, Austin Reeves, incredible.
Yeah.
And I think he's been more than a role player for us. I really think that this is a guy who, on any given night, has proven he can drop 20-plus points, and he's capable of it.
Yeah.
Rui Hachimura, stepped up big time. I don't expect him to put up 29 points every single game, but he's been great for us after the post-trade deadline. And I was saying, these past couple weeks, I honestly think if the Lakers can stay healthy, I see this team as a title contender. This is the only team in the playoffs who has 2 top 10 players when fully healthy. They have the pieces. They have Austin Reeves. They have Rui Hachimura. They have D'Angelo Russell as that third option. And the defense is incredible, too. They're the third best defense post-All-Star break. They have the best record in the league post-All-Star break. So the statistics back it up. And it's just a matter if the Lakers can stay healthy, but that's a big if.
Yeah.
I forgot how much I hate the Lakers and their fandom. When they weren't good, it was chill. They were annoying, but they couldn't do anything because they stunk. But now that they're trying to show some light, when the Lakers
Y'all
are
showing
good,
light.
there's this whole heap of or crowd of people who just take everything and overreact. They're like Cowboy fans when I think about it. But to touch on the series, Ja, get healthy soon, bro. Hopefully you can play. Without you, there's no chance that the Grizzlies can win the series.
Yeah.
I had the Grizzlies winning it probably in 6 and 7 prior to that. Now I want to switch the Lakers depending on Ja's health. But even with Ja healthy, the Lakers were still dominating that game for the most part.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, if he can stay on the court like y'all said, he can easily be the best player on the court any given night. Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to be a big deal for Memphis. He got to stay out of foul trouble, which he kind of did a good job of in game one. But with Ja out, he's going to have to carry a lot of the offensive load. And Desmond Bane's going to also have to pick it up. Brooks is going to have to pick it up. And LeBron didn't even have a very dominant game.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, LeBron, he only had 21 points, and I think he only took one shot the whole fourth quarter. But Austin Reeves was facilitating the offense the whole entire fourth quarter.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's been one of the major differences since the trade deadline is LeBron doesn't have to drop 40 and 50 just to get a win anymore. Like, the team is actually stepping up around him. Like really, like before that trade deadline when y'all still had Russ and all those guys, like literally LeBron had to go for 40 or it had to be AD and him combining for like 70 or 80 points just to get a win.
That's
and
what
y'all
I
are
was
still squeaking out wins with
That's
that.
what I was going to say. Like, pre-trade deadline, if LeBron and AD aren't playing great games, we're losing that game. Like, no questions asked about it.
That's been a major difference in why y'all have the best record post trade deadline is because y'all have guys now that can step up around those two superstars and give you 20, give you 15, or just actually fill out the stat sheet in important ways.
Yeah.
And so I think that is what makes teams that can make a deep playoff run. Teams that are one healthy and teams that are too like play as a team and everybody can contribute. Not it doesn't just come down to just two guys carrying a team. Like like literally that's really the teams that make the deep runs.
That's the thing. Like, you look at the Celtics or you look at the Warriors last year, like, those teams that have the capability to make a championship run, they've got multiple guys that they can lean back on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest difference I've seen from the Lakers pre-trade deadline and post-trade deadline. What
Yeah.
about you, JP?
Okay, so I do have a question though. Title contenders. If you said Rui Hachimura, you're not expecting him to be consistent.
No, he's going to be consistent. I'm not expecting him to consistently drop 29
Right,
points,
right.
though.
He's not. I don't think he's gonna be consistent.
Bro, he's been consistent.
I don't
ever
even
since
think he's a
came on the
15
Lakers.
points. I don't think I can even guarantee 15
Bro,
points from
No,
him.
he's not.
he's
D'Angelo
Hachimura.
Russell. D'Angelo Russell.
Now D'Lo, yes, D'Lo can get you 15
No,
to
Now,
20.
not every-
D'Lo's gonna go away in the playoffs, and I can't wait for it.
D'Lo
D'Lo's going to
is-
what?
He's gonna disappear.
No, I didn't see that game one.
Yeah.
First
All right,
ever-
but we can't just
one
look
game.
at it from game one. Like, I mean, we can just look at this. I mean, I know we hadn't got to this.
I mean, so
series
we're just
yet.
going to ignore the fact one of his first playoff games, as a starter, he drops 19-7.
No, we don't
He was in the
ignore it.
playoffs last year, and he did nothing. He
No,
was
we don't
terrible.
ignore it.
He's
We just
also in
understand it won't be like it won't be consistent. That's all we're saying. We're not going to take away that he did it game one, but we just don't expect some of these guys to do it on a consistent basis.
Well, I get
And
that.
other teams have guys that can do it on a consistent basis.
I get that, but then we also have Dennis Schroeder, who we didn't even mention. He's been playing great.
That's a one game.
Then the shooting not
He
consistent
might come
either.
in for one game.
But
and help you out.
that's what I'm saying. Like, we have so many different guys we can fall back on. D'Lo can have a good night, or if D'Lo's not on, Dennis Schroeder has shown he's a veteran. He can have some big games. He was clutch for us in the play-in tournament and all throughout the post All-Star break. So we've got guys who we can fall back on. That's what I'm saying. We don't need the XYZ players to step up, or we're not going to win a game. Like,
To be championship contender, you gonna need a great AD and a great LeBron.
I know
Now
that.
to get out of this series, you don't need that. But from second round up, you gonna need great LeBron, and great AD.
Oh yeah, I'm
It's
not.
what we
I'm not
described in
disputing
The thing
that.
about it is
few
the
months
West
ago.
is so there's no clear, or at least going to the playoffs, there hasn't been a clear team who separated themselves from the rest of the pack. Right? People had the
Yeah.
Warriors as a 6 seed, being going to the finals. Some people had the Suns with the addition of Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Really in the East too, because like there's not a single team that's a 60-win team, and that's
Yeah,
the
All right,
but-
but I mean, we
Bucks
know the
and
two
Celtics.
teams. We know the two
Yeah,
teams
yeah,
it
yeah.
is. Yeah, we know the two
East,
teams.
East
though.
is a little more top heavy, but
It's
I see
Boston
your
and
point.
Milwaukee. We know
mean,
what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, to Eli's point, I'd have to agree with him. In like assuming full health and the fact that like when the Lakers, whenever LeBron and AD are having good games and all those role players are stepping up, filling their role, I think the Lakers really could be contenders. But that's if one, health, and two, consistency with how they play.
So outside of LeBron and AD, what guys do you think are consistent for the Lakers?
I mean, Reeves has been stepping up very well recently, and like Eli said, Schroeder was clutch for them in the play-in tournament. But we'd have to see consistency, like you said. But I mean, when LeBron and AD are doing their thing, they're supposed to be doing 25 and 25 each, whatever.
Right.
And then you have guys like Reeves and Hachimura and Russell and what's the other guys, or Schroeder. Like those four guys that are stepping up and filling out their roles. I think the Lakers really. I think they're a deep squad, assuming they stay healthy. Of
Yeah, I
course.
mean,
have
and,
the
and you also look at the defense too. Like the defense is top 3 in the league post All-Star break too. I think I mentioned that earlier. And you got Jared Vanderbilt, who that's a straight up two-way guy who you can rely on every game.
He's a one-way guy.
Defensively.
I mean, respectfully, he's a great
Well,
defender.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like he steps up on defense. He embraces his role.
Yeah.
As he's
Yeah, I
he's arguably our best defender behind AD.
I would agree with
say.
that. Okay,
Yeah,
I agree with
honestly-
that. Yeah.
Honestly, at this
great
point,
defender.
I'm trying to see a Celtics-Lakers chip, man. I mean, I'm a Celtics
Yeah,
fan.
I think y'all trying
Everybody
to
knows
get into
that.
Hey.
existence. That's what's going on here.
Hey,
Well,
I'm down.
I'm
Let's
not-
make it happen. Let's
I mean,
make
yeah,
it
So
happen.
like
y'all got
that-
Lakers beating the Kings or the Warriors.
I mean, they just said if they're contenders, I hope they got them
Wait,
going to the Western Conference Finals.
we
at
do
least.
need a
No,
Steph
but this
versus
is all
Bron.
dependent though, because I mean, the Lakers have probably the most injury-prone guy in the league, but when he's healthy, he's a top 5 guy. So I mean, you can't ever count them out with him on the floor. But when
Because
he's down-
we need to define what a contender is, because I don't.
Okay, I say
because
most
we already know how the
I say
NFL playoffs contenders.
Okay, yeah,
Everybody, we didn't know. I need to know what is your criteria. Western Conference Finals, because
From what I've
Well,
seen,
see,
from what I've seen of the Lakers
y'all
at
say
their
a
peak,
contender, and then if they make it past one round, they're contenders, and I don't think
No,
that's
from
what
like-
contending
No.
is.
But what if you have the contenders that meet early? Like, what if it's 2 contenders that meet early?
Yeah, like
Like-
the Suns and the Nuggets, second round potentially, or the Suns and Clippers. Like those
So
are
you
two
telling me
teams.
there's 6 contenders in the West?
I mean, the
know
West
what?
is wide open. We just said that a
I mean,
second
it is
ago.
wide open, but I don't think it's that wide open.
Looking at it, I think there's probably 7 contenders in the West for real.
I don't think the Clippers can win a championship. I don't think Denver can win a championship. I'm
Like,
I
We
mean,
going
I don't
on
believe
Golden
it. I
State.
don't believe it, but you'll be surprised if Denver goes to the Western Conference.
you already told me you don't have Golden State winning, so that's another team eliminated.
But
So
hold on.
Who are
When
your
I-
real
that's my
contenders?
pick.
Phoenix, and who else? That's really it.
Hold on. You gotta
No,
understand.
no,
When I say contenders, I mean that all these teams.
Saying?
No.
What is a contender?
All right, let's
Do you
cook.
see my point?
No, we're back. Now
Guys.
now we're back.
Guys, do you see my frustration?
Now I gotta cook them.
Do you see my frustration?
So
Now-
fast.
Hey, let him cook.
they wanted me back.
Come on now.
Hold on, bro.
What is a contender?
Listen, bro.
How far do you have to advance to be a contender? Because NFL, y'all all
For
over
me,
the
it's
place.
not
All
about
right,
advancing.
let's slow down one at a time. Who-
I think that everybody in the West, I wouldn't be surprised if any series, like if the Warriors got into a series with the Grizzlies, I would pick the Grizzlies, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors beat them. Same thing with the Lakers Warriors or Kings Lakers, Nuggets Suns. I'm picking the Suns in that series, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Nuggets sing. Same thing with Clippers. All those teams except for Minnesota, I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams match up. I wouldn't be surprised if any of them beat the other one in the
So
series.
you think Denver can win a championship? Like, honestly. Like,
I think they
forget
can
that
get to the
seeding.
finals for sure. I think they can get to the finals. I don't pick them to because I don't trust Jokic. I think he's going to get picked on in the pick and roll defensively, but I think that they can make a run to the finals for sure.
Yeah, like basically, I don't think the Kings are contenders for a chip. I don't think the Grizzlies are. I don't think the Nuggets are. But from what I've seen from the Lakers at their A game, I think they could. It's obvious.
Okay, so you
I
have
said it already.
So you
that-
have two contenders. You have Phoenix and LA, the Lakers.
You don't
Yeah.
think the Clippers are?
No,
I don't know.
No, the Clippers can't win a championship.
honest,
no.
like I think with Paul George.
The Lakers?
I don't think Paul George will come back 100%.
No, well, the thing is,
we'd have
Paul,
to come back and start like off like hot, like out the gate.
Well, the
second
thing-
round series.
the thing is, Paul George isn't even going to be back for the whole entire Suns series. So I don't think I think the Clippers could make it a 6-7 game series, but I don't think without Paul George that they can get over that hump. I
not a
seriously,
contender.
So we segue to the Suns and Clippers?
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
we-
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I-
definitely.
But like getting back to that contenders conversation, if I had to pick two teams right now that I feel comfortable with, assuming health and everything, I would say the Suns and the Lakers are my two favorites in the West.
I'd say the same.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
Suns
yeah,
and
get-
Lakers are your two favorites in the West.
And Warriors too. I would say, well, no, I honestly I don't see the Warriors getting past. I don't see them
That's what I'm
getting
saying,
past
if
the
you-
Lakers in the second round. So I would say Lakers and Suns.
Bro. Okay,
Thank you. Okay.
Lakers and the Suns. That's your Western
this
Conference.
is all contingent
Yes.
on AD though.
This
If
is
he
contingent
can
on
stay
health.
healthy.
You got to factor that in, though.
Yeah, I mean we are.
Eh,
I'm saying
Yeah.
at
Every team
their-
got an injury prone guy. The
But-
Clippers got Kawhi. Memphis has Ja.
Boston has Robert Williams.
That's why it's all even to me, bro. It's an even playing
I
field.
mean, if you want to talk health, I mean,
It's an
Denver,
even- for
Denver
me,
the most
Yeah, it's
healthy
gonna-
team.
It's
If you
gonna
wanna
be
go
close
based
though.
off
You know,
that.
going into it, I had the Lakers in 7 against the Grizzlies, and I'm gonna stand by that. We might be able to get them out in 6. Who knows if
maybe
Ja misses?
5 if Ja ain't playing.
If Ja doesn't play game 2, which is a real possibility, we'll see. But yeah, segueing over to the Suns and Clippers though, because I know you've been a big advocate for the Clippers
Yes, I'm
mean,
interested.
ever since last
Hold
offseason.
on,
You
bro.
had to win the chip.
Let's not say I've been a big advocate when I picked them to go to the finals. Our last episode, and that was like what, in December.
What's your point? That was your pick.
But we had
Stand by.
there was a whole NBA season in between.
So what? Stick by your
like I've been advocating this guy. Like, bro,
stick by your pick.
since
Bro, we really missed the whole NBA
since
regular
then,
season.
they played 82 games, and
All right, hold on. I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
That's funny.
What was our last episode, Noah? December 8th.
December 8th.
That's
yeah.
close to Christmas. That's halfway almost through the season. Don't give me the
no, that's
But
about,
it- no,
beginning
it's
of the
not-
season.
it's not-
I mean, that's 30 games in. I mean, they're
It's
like
not in
one
the-
half. I mean,
yeah.
they're 1/4 done.
It's not even to the trade deadline though. So like that's not
not.
even the
It's
relevant.
not
I
halfway.
think
It's
I
not.
made-
It's not All Star break, but
be
they
honest, I
got
think-
25 games in, 30
no,
games in.
I said that before the season started. To be honest, I think that was NBA season preview.
Yes, that's what we do. We
Yeah,
come
it wasn't
back.
that- it wasn't
you
that
make a
crazy.
prediction, and if you're wrong, I come at you for it. That's what we do.
Well, we don't even know
That's
yet.
why we roast each other for predictions that we made 6 months ago. That's,
First of all-
that's how it
Bro,
works.
hold on. First of all, but I haven't even given an analysis.
Oh, I
since
want to
the
hear
season
it.
started.
I'm ready to hear it. What's your analysis of the Clippers right now? You think that
Clippers-Suns
championship
series.
bound?
No, I have the Suns winning this series.
Oh my god! So you got
Maybe because Kevin
you got
Durant
your
got
preseason
traded
team
in
getting
between
bounced in the
episodes.
first?
Maybe because Kevin Durant got traded in between episodes. That might change my opinion. a
It
little.
does. It does.
So, but
I'm trolling you a little
just
bit.
looking at game one a little bit, Kevin Durant played a pretty good game, but I was disappointed to not see him shoot the ball late after he made a 3. I don't know how much time was left. but he made it through to match Kawhi, and he didn't shoot another shot. Chris Paul does what playoff Chris Paul does. I think he scored in single digits. Couldn't make his buy shot in the fourth quarter. Devin Booker, same thing, choked. But I got to show love to Kawhi. 38, playoff Kawhi is real. But we also need to show some love to Westbrook, who had one of the best 3 of 19 games I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I will say, even though he did have an atrocious game shooting the ball, he made up with it with his defense and
Rebounding,
his,
offensive
and his play
rebounding
back.
was-
That's one thing that he really didn't do all that well with the Lakers. But it seems like now that he's with the team across town, he heard those rumors about people saying, "Oh, you never play defense for the Los Angeles Lakers." Now he's really making it an emphasis, and I really think last night him missing all those shots kind of fueled him to put more energy into the defensive side of the ball. But he came up and he was clutch. I mean, you can't take nothing away from him. Devin Booker tried to draw an and-one questionable decision in that game, late in game one, but Westbrook stepped up, made the block, and then not only that, throws it off his knee and seals the game too. So, I mean, you got to give props to him, and I love the fit with Eric Gordon. I think he's been a great addition to the Clippers as well, and they got a good young team over there, and with a pretty good supporting cast. Zubac too, he's really solid.
Yeah, they got a lot of wing depth, but what y'all think?
I mean, Clippers, man. I mean, obviously playoff Kawhi, like you said, but I mean, Paul George, you can't really tell what they're going to be unless you got your guys on the floor. It's kind of like the Pelicans, dude. Like, Pelicans are such a good young squad, but Zion never plays. So, like, you can never really see what they can
talked
be.
about that. I said they shouldn't have gave Zion that
Hey,
contract.
me and you both. I said they gave it
And
to
these
him a year
guys on the
early.
other side of us said, "Man, go ahead and get Zion that money."
Have to give him
And he
the
still
contract.
ain't on the floor.
Gotta give him the contract.
Man, cannot
So you
play
let him
20
walk for
consecutive
free?
games.
I know you.
Yes.
I know y'all remember when we
He's not
made
playing
that.
anyways.
We tried to make that bet, the over/under. How many games is he gonna miss?
What was his over under? We said like 35,
I think it was 40.
How many did
40
he
games.
He
He definitely missed 40.
I hope he maybe 20 something. I don't know if he got that much.
He didn't,
Yeah, he
after
might.
once he left, he never came back.
And dude, what
Every year with him.
gets me is the fact that he said he's been 100% and he just decides to sit because he's not mentally like in it.
Yeah, he pulling the Ben Simmons. and
Like,
I'm
bro,
not
get
that.
over, play
Matter
for
of
your
fact, Ben
team.
Simmons, why is he not playing right now for Brooklyn? Is he hurt?
Anyway,
I mean, he really has nothing to
He
play
got back
for
problems.
because I think the whole reason Ben wanted to get traded to the Nets is because of Kyrie and KD, and now everybody's jumped ship. But
yeah,
I mean, I would think if you're Zion, like in that circumstance, like you have the option to play or not. The play-in is about as big of an occasion as you can play for,
They need him.
and he passed up on it. And maybe there's some stuff we don't know behind the
I think
scenes,
they said he
but
wasn't in
yeah,
shape.
true. You gotta play.
but that's on him though. Not being in shape
Definitely
is on him. So
It
like,
definitely is on him.
You had plenty of
I
time to
agree
get in
it's on him,
shape.
but they said he wasn't
like
in shape.
I mean, I know the gumbo good in New Orleans,
he's
but my
got
goodness.
he's got all the money and all the resources in the world to get in shape. Like, there's just no excuse.
Not being
like
shape.
I heard something. Braun spends like $5
Million.
million a year just in the off season on keeping his body in shape and stuff.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Bron be doing drugs.
I mean, anyway, my point on that was that like you can't really see how good the Clippers can be because they don't have their second best player on the floor, and he's probably not going to play in this series that they really need him, especially when you're facing up against a team that has people like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. So who are like two really Kevin Durant, but Devin Booker is probably top 15, top 20 scorer.
Yeah, going into this series, I had the Suns in 6, just strictly based off of the talent. I think the talent alone is just going to be a little too much for the Clippers to handle. But right now, as we're speaking, it's actually 59-54 right before the half. Clippers are leading the Suns. So
Suns gonna lose again.
you think the Suns gonna lose? If
Kawhi
Kevin
go
Durant
get him.
goes home,
Kawhi
in
go
the
get him in the
first
fourth quarter again.
Y'all don't
When it's
know.
close
Okay.
game, Kawhi go show up.
I got a question.
What's up?
What would this do to Kevin Durant's legacy?
Oh, he don't have a
He
legacy.
don't have a
to get in
legacy.
with. Oh, he don't have a legacy.
I'm
to-
so- I'm
he,
so
he doesn't
done.
even have anything
Well,
to
no.
20.
No, hold on.
Y'all are being a little
Yeah.
too
No,
disrespectful.
we're not.
Wait. I'm just look. Let me finish the question. I didn't even get started, and this man JP started.
I mean,
swinging
all
for the
me and
fence.
Noah had to hear was legacy,
Yeah,
and I say
yeah,
none to be
Yeah, you're
found.
right. You're right. Let
Wow,
the man.
this
My
speak.
bad, my bad, my bad, my bad.
This
Yeah,
man
you
JP was ready to go crazy.
Ready to go.
Anyway, so obviously when KD got traded to the Suns, I think that was one of his destinations he wanted to go to,
Yeah.
right? And obviously he wants to be there because he wants to win another title.
Mhm.
What does that do for his image if he gets first rounded by the Clippers?
I mean,
How much more tarnished would his legacy be?
really the same thing that happened last year in Brooklyn. He got swept in the first round by the Celtics. I mean, you had Kyrie on the floor. I mean, yeah, granted they didn't have James Harden, but like you still had a really good team around Kyrie and KD, and you couldn't do nothing with it. You got swept by Boston last year, and so this year, I mean, he's on a talented Phoenix team, and if they lose the Clippers without Paul George, I mean, come on now. Like that's just KD is constantly joining teams when they don't really need much. He just the one that puts them over the edge on paper, but it somehow just never pans out.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, I will say it is halftime update, halftime 59-59 going into the half. So I still think the Suns. I don't think the Suns are going to lose the series, but if they were to, I think it definitely would be a huge hit on KD and jumping ships again because they do have him. They do have Chris Paul still. They still have Devin Booker, who's a top 15 talent, not a top 15 player, but a top 15 talent. And DeAndre Ayton too.
Who?
Chris Paul?
No,
no, he's talking about Booker.
Devin Booker.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
D-Book's top 15.
Somehow the Suns were able to keep DeAndre Ayton and trade for KD.
Yeah, that's two. They
crazy.
still have DeAndre Ayton too, but
Honestly, I would have liked them getting with the Aiden and keeping Bridges. Bridges have been
I
balling.
know for real.
He's a big,
Bro,
though,
for
but
real.
He has
Bridges is a
Ayton
dog.
Bridges is a dog, and Bridges is doable. This man has not missed a single game in the NBA. He didn't miss a single game in college,
Yep.
and I don't think he missed a high school game. I haven't seen a guy 5 years in and miss a single game.
I've never seen somebody be able to be available as like
He might be the most doable player ever.
what did he play? 83 games this year. He played 83.
Yeah, he played an extra game
he
this year,
hasn't missed a
technically.
game since he got
Yeah,
drafted.
but
He's not missed a
It's just
single game.
crazy.
Ayton is going to have to step up.
And he's a starter.
in this series. No, Aiden. I think Aiden's going to be a big deal. He needs to step up. Chris Paul is not as much on him, but he's got to show up. And then Kevin Durant has to be assertive in the late game moments. But like I know, Eli said, I do have them winning this series. It would be really bad if they don't, though.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and then shifting over to the Eastern Conference, what were y'all's takeaways from the Celtics and the Hawks, Bucks and Heat? We're all with the agreement that the East is top heavy. Do y'all see any chance of anybody being able to crack the Bucks or the Celtics?
The only team that has a chance is the Sixers, but I mean I don't really see it. It's a very slight chance. In a 7-game series, especially with both those teams, I don't think you're beating the Bucks or the Celtics at full health. That's why they only beat each other. And so really, I mean, we're seeing it right now with the Hawks. I mean, on paper they have a decent team, but when you go up against a juggernaut like the Celtics, I mean, they're wiping the floor with them right now. And they're up. The Celtics are up 2-0 in this series, and they've won both games by double digits. Like it's going to be a sweep easily. The Bucks and Heat. I mean, the Heat have just been weird. Like they're so good these last few years we can remember. Like they've been a kind of the Eastern Conference powerhouse. Like they were the 1 seed last year, and then this year they're just kind of like like they're okay. They're not great at all. And so I mean, obviously, I think the Bucks are going to take that one. The only reason they lost game 1 is they didn't have Giannis. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. Even though Miami does, like in previous seasons, they've given Milwaukee the best. They match up pretty good with Bam and Giannis, but they lost Tyler Hero. They're not winning that series. I don't even care if Giannis doesn't play. I still have them losing that to Milwaukee. And 76ers should sweep the Nets. It'll be embarrassing if they don't. The Celtics should sweep the Hawks as well. Nothing there. The interesting series in the East is going to be the Cavs and the Knicks, which I think that one probably go to length, 6 or 7 at least. And I'm leaning towards New York, but it's the Knicks. Like, what do I look like picking the Knicks?
It's like picking the Cowboys.
And I think Donovan Mitchell will be the best player on the court throughout the series, even though Jalen Brunson in that game 1 clearly in crunch time, he made a lot of big-time buckets. And I know Mark Cuban is looking at that series like, dang, I didn't know what I had in JB.
No. He did know what he had in him.
No, he
They
didn't.
let him go.
Yeah,
But
about the bread.
based off name value, they was like, we'll try to pair somebody else with Luka later on, and they end up getting Kyrie, and you see how that went.
wanted to bring that up so bad.
Oh yeah. I forgot that you guys said that they would go do something.
I didn't say that they were going
I
to
didn't.
They didn't even make the playoffs.
I didn't say they was
I
going to
didn't
do
say
anything.
that.
Oh yeah, you and Eli thought that was gonna make a difference.
No.
I'm saying that.
No,
I-
y'all
no.
did in a group
Yeah,
chat.
hold on.
Y'all not?
I didn't
JP,
say that, bro.
JP, what I said is I'm happy that the Mavs at least tried to do something
all
for
you
Luka.
said?
Yes, that's what I said. I said I'm happy that the Mavs didn't just stay stagnant with a bunch of role players.
But they were better stagnant with the bunch of
would-
role players.
I
They
would-
had a better record before Kyrie got there than the end of Kyrie getting there.
So look, let me ask this: would you rather say you don't have a favorite team, so I can't ask you this, but like Noah and Destin, if you got a team you're rooting for, would you rather them just stay in place, stay mediocre, middle of the pack, always and
Got
forever?
to the Western Conference Finals
on.
with what they had.
Can I finish?
Okay, my bad.
Would you rather a team stay mediocre, stay middle of the pack, or would you want them to at least try to swing for the fences?
No, I mean,
and
I
make
do.
that
I do see
blockbuster
your,
move.
Yeah, I do.
That's
I
what
do
I'm
see
saying.
your point.
I appreciate the Mavs trying at least to put somebody else around Luka that's a superstar, not a superstar, but an all-star caliber player. And
But did you think them getting Kyrie was gonna make them better or worse?
I think it offensively they were going to be better, but they were going to be way worse defensively. So it was really give and take.
Yeah, and also you paired them together like Luka and Kyrie. They're both ball dominant players, and so usually that just doesn't work. And obviously it didn't.
Yeah.
So that's really the only reason I didn't think it was going to work, just because they play so similarly, and they're both ISO players, and you can't have two of those guys, especially when they're probably two of the best ISO players in the league, and so you can't have them both in the same team. It's just not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think, Brunson is a way better fit for the Mavs than Kyrie was, looking back at it now for sure. But, they let him go. And
Yep. Hindsight's 20/20. So I mean, obviously it didn't work out, but on paper it should have, I guess. But
I mean, to me, it was obvious. We all know Luka doesn't play defense. That's why Tatum's better than him. And then we also know that Kyrie doesn't play defense.
okay.
And I don't know why we're shaking our heads here, because one
No,
guy's
I agree with you.
One guy's not in the playoffs right now. One guy's going back to the finals. But I mean, we'll talk about that later on.
No, I'm with you on
Got
that.
surrounded by a bunch
I'm
of
with you.
a way better ran organization, wing defenders everywhere,
He
and
just-
Jaylen Brown.
Hold
But
on,
okay.
hold on. You can't go from Western Conference Finals to not making the playoffs. You can't do that.
I mean, they don't have the same.
I'm not bailing you out. It doesn't matter. They lost one guy, Jalen
And they
Brunson,
added
a big man that Eli said that they needed. A big man, a
You don't
post
even get
presence.
playing
Wood,
time.
right?
He didn't even play it towards the end.
Who
of the
didn't
season.
play?
they didn't just
Christian
lose.
Wood didn't get no burn at the end of the season.
Okay, I'm not.
What
look,
about the 82-game season? Did he not get burned?
When Kyrie got there, they stopped. That
was the
playing him.
last,
Even
what,
before
15
that. Even
games?
before that, they stopped playing him. Jason Kidd benched him and stopped playing him a lot.
Why? It was a reason for that.
Oh, I'm not a Mavs guy. I've been following.
I
him
mean,
like
I'm not a Mavs guy, but he didn't fit in with the offense.
Look,
To
by
me,
no means am I defending the Mavs, but that statement you just made, like saying Jason Tatum is a far better player than Luka.
when did I say far better? I said he is better.
No. What you're implying by the way you stated that
I
statement.
said Luka don't
you
play
said-
defense.
No. You said somebody is about to go back to the finals and another. Dude
And
is
I'm
missing
correct.
Play.
And you will see. One guy's not in the
That's-
playoffs, and the next guy is
But
fighting to go
that's
back
not
to the
s-
finals.
But that's not solely based on Jason Tatum, and that's not solely based on Luka Doncic, because
didn't
I
say
can
it
look
was.
at the Celtics, and they're a far better run organization with way more guys to back up Jason Tatum than Luka. That's all I'm saying. I'm not defending the Mavs.
Yeah, I mean, he's
So
it's
so-
different.
so
But
it's
the
the
way-
roster
but
Luka
the-
had,
but the way you
not
came
playoff
off-
bound.
But he said somebody wasn't going to playoffs. The other guy didn't. Last year, Jimmy Butler went to the playoffs. LeBron didn't. Jimmy Butler better than LeBron.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna have
No,
that
no, that's not the
Exactly.
same.
No,
thing.
I'm killing
Hold
that.
on.
I'm killing
That's
that.
not the same
No,
thing.
I'm killing that right now.
That's not the
you
same
can't say
thing.
just
We
because
say
one
what
guy.
Yes,
you
it
said.
is.
Look how fast you said that. I don't even know what you just said. Man, start over.
You said Jason Tatum better because he's in the playoffs.
No. That wasn't my reason for
You said
why
you
he's
play-
better.
You said defense.
But I just made that point.
You said defense and playoffs. Same thing for Jimmy Butler and LeBron.
No, Tatum's a better all-around player. You can't be
Now he
just
switch it. Now he wants
you
to
can't
switch
just be an offensive
Look, you
guy
did
and be
just-
better than the guy who plays good
Look,
right on both sides of the
You
ball.
did just imply, since Tatum back in the finals, Luka out of the playoffs.
What did I say before that? You didn't listen to my whole take. I said Tatum is better than Luka, and the first thing I brought up was defense not being played because we was talking about Kyrie. And then after that, I added on to my statement by saying one guy is not in the playoffs and one guy is. Now y'all made
Now,
that
look, this is
me
me being
implying that
honest.
Luka is not as good because he
this
didn't make
is me
playoffs.
being
No, that's not
honest.
what I'm saying.
Because I can always be honest. And you got to remember, we hadn't posted this whole entire season.
He's about to
serious.
walk back. You
I'm
see?
not walking anything back.
Go ahead.
But based off the 2022 season, 2021-2022 season, Luka was better than Tatum. This year, it's undeniable that Tatum has had a better season than Luka. So I wouldn't be mad at if at the end of the season that we have Tatum ranked above Luka. But I still think in the long run, Luka's gonna be
He's
a
getting
better.
there. No, he's
still-
getting he's getting
that's
closer.
unfair. No.
I got him a little bit closer to the Tatum
Look at
bandwagon
this.
by the end of the year. Okay.
No, that's just me being 100 this year. But I still think in the long time,
See
Luka
how
can
you-
clearly be better than
You
Tatum.
sound like you sound like you slowly getting to if Tatum doesn't end
mean,
the
it's
season, Tatum
undeniable.
I see why.
It's undeniable. Even though Luka did average 30.
So why you combat my point that I just made? Is my point really crazy if you gonna make that statement right after it?
What I think
You making me sound
I can
good.
make a better argument for Tatum than you, and it would be that Tatum makes more winning plays in terms of
So you add on to my argument that I
always
already made.
engaged. But the defense thing is
Is bro.
it's not that big a deal.
Whoa,
for him.
Luka is a cone on defense. He's dare I say
He is
just as
terrible
much as
de-
Harden. Just as much
He
as
is
Harden.
bad on defense.
Hold on.
James Harden. He's basically James Harden in his prime.
He's bad on
James
defense.
Harden made it to the West Conference Finals.
Terrible on
He
defense.
couldn't get to the finals. Why? He was ball dominant. Luka's ball dominant. He didn't play defense. Luka doesn't play defense. He has James Harden trajectory.
play defense
He's
in the
not in
playoffs.
shape. He's not in good
James will
shape.
play a little defense in the playoffs.
Luka's not in good shape. He needs to lose about 20 pounds.
I agree.
He's pushing Zion status, but he's just a better scorer. and not as athletic, so his knees don't get messed up by doing it.
But
He needs to lose some
we
weight.
don't have a team around him that Tatum does.
I didn't say he did. When did I ever sit up here and say that they have the same type
I'm
of
just
quality?
saying,
team?
bro. I'm just saying.
But you can't go to the West Conference Finals because you at least showed that you were a solid enough team to get there, right? You were out the first round.
They
Jalen
were a
Brunson.
better team last year.
Jalen Brunson carried the whole first round, so you didn't have to play the first round. Jalen Brunson averaged 30 in that series. So, okay, you came back. You beat up on Phoenix. Phoenix tends to sell. We all know they do. Chris Paul ain't done nothing in his career.
Phoenix
in
tends
playoffs.
to sell. That's
Phoenix
the second
sells.
playoff run. They didn't sell until Luka.
That was a big sale.
That was Luka.
But they didn't do it till Luka last year. That's all we're saying. That's all Destin's saying. I see where Destin.
They sold against the Bucks, too.
Bro, they made the finals and lost in 6 games. That's not necessarily selling.
I think it's selling.
Well, Chris Paul did fold in the finals, but
And D-Book?
give me your
D-Book
take on the Eastern Conference.
Which one?
All
Which
of
one
them.
we talking?
Run me through because we know about the Sixers.
Well, I mean, the Knicks and Cleveland, like you said, is going to be the most interesting one. I think sometimes Cleveland relies on Donovan Mitchell too much, though. But I think that was a 7-gamer, and I would take Cleveland just because they got the best player in the
That
series.
7-game at home.
Right, I would trust Mitchell to pull through somehow. But I wouldn't be shocked if the Knicks beat them, though, because, it's going to be a back-and-forth series.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I had the Cavs winning in 6, strictly off of I think offensively they have more guys they can fall back to. Darius Garland been playing amazing. He's been in and out with injury. I think part of this year, but he's been really good for them. And of course, Donovan Mitchell's made a world of difference for Cleveland. I mean, they have new life in that organization now ever since they acquired him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to be able to squid. I think it's going to be a hard fought, tough series. Knicks have one of the best rebounding teams in the league.
Especially with
And we saw that in game 1 too.
the Knicks tried to a lot of Knicks fans wanted Donovan Mitchell there.
Oh yeah,
So
Yeah.
sure, yeah. But they've got one of the best rebounding teams, and they've got a lot of length and size. But I think the Cavs take that in 6. I see the Celtics sweeping past the Hawks. I don't see them having any problem.
I think we
I
all
wish,
agree with
I wish
that.
the Hawks would have played the Knicks again, and like the Celtics would have played the Cavs. That would have been more.
Oh, my God, the
entertaining.
Knicks fans hate Trae Young, so yeah, that would have
That
been
would have
interesting.
been. Trey Young always. I feel like he always drops 40 in New York.
I'm pretty sure Trae Young's the most hated NBA player in New York.
Yeah.
They hate him.
When it comes to any time he plays there in Madison Square, I mean, you can't beat that. But I've obviously got the Celtics sweeping past the Hawks. I actually think I was saying this before the playoffs started. I think whoever Miami plays in the first round, I think the Celtics kind of dodged the bullet not playing Miami in the first round because not that they would win the series, but they would give them a lot to work with.
right.
And they would I think they would take them to 6. But I have the Bucks winning in 6 with that series just because of the experience and Jimmy buckets in the playoffs and all that being said. And then what was the last series? Philly, yeah, and I obviously have Philly sweeping by the Nets, but
Yeah, we're probably all in agreement on that one. It's kind of sad to see, but we actually
the
all
East is
four
kind
agree.
of
we've had a-
easier to.
Has that ever happened?
I don't
All
know.
4 agree on one thing?
Yeah, I think we all agree on the winners. I think we all just had different games. Yeah, I think the East is just the easier. Like you said, it's
Yeah,
top
way
heavy.
easier to
Yeah.
pick,
It's easier to kind of pick through. The West is all over the place.
With the Sixers Celtics matchup, and then obviously
Who's taking the Sixers?
I'm just saying I don't know.
What
if
you mean
anybody
interested?
is, but
I
we
think
might-
that's it.
We're talking about first round right now.
I know I agree with
Yeah,
you
yeah.
on first round,
Yeah.
but I'm talking about it probably won't. That's probably when
Yeah, that's the only time
It'll actually get interesting once it gets to the second round of the playoffs, in both West and East.
Other than the Eastern Conference, I think that Philly, the 76ers and Celtics is probably the most interesting matchup you can get before reaching the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving off of some NBA, I know that was a lot of banner when it comes to basketball, but Hurts just recently this past week got extended and actually picked up the biggest contract in NFL history. What's y'all's reaction to that and your biggest takeaway?
I mean, roll tide, right?
I'm happy for my boy.
That's where legends are paid, right?
I was-
Auburn fans.
Even 2017. No, his rookie year, his freshman year at Bama, I was rooting for him even when the guy couldn't throw. I wanted him to clutch up against Clemson. He did with the run. I wanted him to clutch up against Georgia. Got benched. We won a chip with Tua. Came back, saved us again against Georgia.
Yeah.
He'll always hold a dear heart in most Alabama fans.
Oh, yeah.
Should be all Alabama
100%.
fans. So I'm so happy he's improved. He went from not being able to throw to a lot of people think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league now.
I think he's top 3 now.
Ah,
Personally.
Yeah,
I mean, he is my favorite player in the league.
Right,
But, I
right,
mean,
Later down the line, we'll definitely have a discussion about the
Yeah.
quarterback rankings for sure.
I mean, me and Jalen did say beginning of the season. I forget. I think it was on pod. like if Jalen Hurts can take this step that we are anticipating, the Eagles will be a dangerous team.
Oh, I mean,
And
hey, I had
it
it.
almost got him a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have them winning the NFC East.
Yeah.
So, I assumed that he could make that next step.
Yeah, it's just it's just I'm glad that it actually happened, and because sometimes it's like, oh, this is expected step, and it's kind of not as much as people thought. But Jalen Hurts actually, I think, exceeded expectations of what he had on him this year, and he's really one of my favorite stories in sports, and so I think he deserves every bit of success he's getting. In my opinion, he deserves every dime of that contract, and it reset the quarterback market already, and so. We get to see probably coming up in the next year or so what quarterbacks like Burrow and Herbert, and if Lamar Jackson ever signs a contract, what those guys will get. Maybe they get paid more, but as of right now, boy Jalen Hurts is the highest paid NFL player ever.
Yeah, I
Crazy
think
to say.
I think what makes it so sweet seeing a guy like Hurts, as humble and as down to earth as he is.
Yeah,
Just seeing his story ever since he was coming out of high school. He wasn't the favorite to win the job as a freshman at Alabama. A lot of people thought the 5-star Blake Barnett was going to win the job. Jalen swoops in that USC game and just takes over by storm, leads them to a championship. Had one of the most iconic plays in Alabama history that's forgotten about with that 30-yard touchdown run. And then ever since then, obviously he got pulled in the national championship, came back in the next year and won the SEC championship for Alabama. But just seeing his story and just the type of guy that he is on and off the field, he's just a leader.
Yeah.
He's a guy that doesn't ask for any handouts and he just puts his head down and goes to work. So
yep.
seeing him get this huge contract, biggest in NFL history, I can't think of a better guy to root for and a better guy to earn that than Jalen Hurts. So I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, me too.
What do you think, Destin? I want to hear what you guys say.
I mean, I'm happy for him. I told you.
Oh yeah, you
got
ought to say what you
happy
said.
for him. When anytime another quarterback is trying to get paid and they're elite, they're going to get paid the most. I don't know if he should be paid the most, but I'm so happy he deserves every penny he got, and just hope he continues to be successful on his journey in the NFL.
It's just crazy because, like, in literally one season, because last offseason, people still had questions whether he was the guy or not with this Super Bowl roster around him. Like, that was even before they got A.J. Brown. People were saying this is a Super Bowl roster.
Right.
And so, like, people were still questioning whether or not he's the guy. And then in literally one season, he becomes the highest paid player ever. Like, that's just that in itself is a crazy story, regardless of his backstory with Alabama and Oklahoma and all that. Like, that's just it's crazy to me. I think he, like I said, well deserved. Love that man, Jalen Hurts. Root for him all the time.
Yeah, I gotta agree with everything you guys said. I think he got overpaid a little bit. Based off, Mahomes, Burrow. I think Burrow, I guess now Burrow's gonna have to probably get a little bit more than that. Bengals gonna have to try to, because like Noah said, the quarterback market always resets. And I think Burrow at this point has done a little bit more just because he went back to the AFC Championship and really was right there to win it again. Him and Mahomes gonna go back at it every year. It's gonna be a battle. But I am happy he got his contract though, but I do think he got overpaid slightly, and it's gonna affect the Eagles roster from now on to be able to go to another Super Bowl.
Yeah. All right, so now we talked about Jalen Hurts a little bit. We're going to move into our little outro here. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. It might have already passed by the time this is out. I honestly don't know exactly what date we posted our first episode, but it's sometime in early April. So one of the topics we wanted to talk about is what's everybody's favorite moments from the podcast over the last year. I mean, like, whenever this gets posted, if y'all want to comment something, y'all's favorite clip or y'all's favorite part of certain episode, whatever, that'd be awesome if y'all want to tell us about that. But what are y'all's favorite moments?
For me, it's the Luka Tatum.
Luka Tatum debate.
That was one of our first debates that we all got passionate about, and it was a 2v2. So I could appreciate that. That was
we were split on that.
Usually it's one of us going at one, but that was like a 2v2, which
The 2v2 debates do hit different.
2v2 is a dope.
Yeah, it's always funny whenever it's evenly distributed and we got a house divided.
Yeah.
And TRD whenever we come up on a debate like that.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to really pick one in my memory when it comes to this. It's tough, even though because editing, I just want to forget it all. I rewatch it all over and over.
Yeah. Shout out Destin. He's the one who does all the editing for all of our content. Or like Eli makes some of the little clips and stuff, but Destin does it too. And shout out Destin for that, for real.
Yeah, I'm learning as we go, so bear with me, guys. But if I had to pick one, it'd probably be one of the iterations between Eli and JP. One that I found
Always
hilarious
great.
was the Stetson Bennett DJ Ulangalele debate. That was very funny. That was back when we was doing it on Zoom. You guys can go back
Oh,
and check
jeez,
that.
those were the dark days,
Oh, the
dude.
Zoom.
Dude, those
check that
those
out. I
some of
didn't
our
even-
worst quality content
Dog
ever.
Zoom.
Bro, I was on another. I didn't even when we were doing those Zoom episodes. It was like it just didn't feel the same. I wasn't as sharp on the Zoom episodes for some reason.
Yeah, and like all our voices had like latency to it, and it
Oh
was
yeah, and
just-
then I
Oh,
would
the freezing. The
Nah,
freezing was terrible.
no, and I would lag out of a whole episode sometimes too.
Yeah,
Like
for
I would
real.
just
Yeah,
go
yeah.
vague.
Yeah, like shout out to you if anybody listening to this ever made it through one of like a full or you watched any part of one of those little Zoom episodes. I mean, shout out to
terrible.
you because that means you really wanted to hear us talk about something because
You're OG.
that quality was awful.
Yeah, those are the dark ages. I think mine would have to be it would have to be a debate between me and JP. In particular, the who is the best scorer in the mid 2010s, KD or James Harden.
That was a good one.
I think I did get your number on that, but that was a.
The stats say otherwise.
I mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
James Harden was that guy from 2013 to 2017. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
averaging 30.
for me,
KD was too.
For me, I mean, Eli, I mean, we all have our little sus jokes or whatever we say off pod, but Eli's had a few that he's actually said on pod. And what makes it so funny is half the time you don't even realize it. Like,
makes it better.
it was probably my favorite, probably the funniest moment on our podcast, in my opinion, is when we were talking about Deion Sanders going to Colorado. And he was talking about the way Deion Sanders coaches these kids. And he said, and I quote, "If you can't handle a grown man coming to your face and keep it real with you," end quote. And then I just looked at Destin and started laughing. And then Destin responded with something like, it was just, and I even made a clip and sent it in the group chat. Like, it just like a cutout of that audio. But honestly, it's been so fun this last year. I mean, I know like we're still small as it is right now, but we're just four bros, four friends hanging out and doing this for fun right now. And hopefully, one day if it takes us somewhere, it does. That'd be awesome. We're just kind of pursuing a dream. And so thank you for everybody that has tuned in over this last year.
Yep.
We really do our best. We all have like full-time jobs. We're in school. And so we do our best to get together and hang out and talk sports and put it out to whoever wants to listen to it. So
Yeah.
everybody out there that listens to us, we really appreciate you guys, and hopefully keep tuning in. We're working on some things coming up behind the scenes that maybe will upgrade us. So hopefully that works out, but we'll see. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to you guys.
We miss y'all. God first, God bless. Happy to be here. Happy to be back. And we love y'all.
See y'all. God bless.
Peace.